Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, we will trace the roots of Halloween and the tales that made it scary and fun. Let's get to the lore. Samhain is a pagan festival celebrated by ancient Celts. It marks the end of harvest season and the beginning of winter. It is held from October 31st to November 1st. Seeing any relations yet? For this video, I'm not really looking to trace the origins of modern-day Halloween. I just want to talk about the spooky creatures involved. The Celts believed that the barriers between our world and the other world are thinnest at this time, and that allows more interaction between humans and creatures of the other world. By the way, other world is what the Celts call the other side, and oh boy, these things are wild.
Number 1, fairies.
First, there are fairies, and who doesn't love fairies? Tinkerbell, Fairy Godmother, Navi from Zelda, they're all great. But it sounds like that the Celts are cautious of fairies. The fairies, however, at least to me, are the most interesting part of Samhain. According to the lore, fairies are tall and beautiful with long flowing hair and pale skin. And right away, I'm picturing elves from the Lord of the Ring movies, not the small Tinkerbell-sized fairies. Some have animal-like features such as wolves, or elks, or bunnies, or other animals common in Irish wilderness. They could also shapeshift into animals to escape human detection. What made the Celts wary of the fairies are the kidnappings, and there are many tales of kidnappings. The reason for kidnapping range from not so bad, such as being taught magic, which is the story of Thomas the Rhymer, to really bad, such as slavery, torture, prison, or something altogether atrocious. Or in the case of Tam Lin, being forced to fight in the fairy arc. Although fairies live in other world, some live on our side of the veil. They make their homes in sids, which is Celtic for fairy mounds. Sids are typically located in remote areas of forest and mountains. During Samhain, fairies are super busy looking for humans and souls to bring back to Otherworld. This is when they go on their legendary wild hunts.
Number 2, Lady Gwen.
Closely associated with the fairies is the legend of Lady Gwen. She's a headless woman dressed in white, accompanied by a black pig that in some tales is said to be the devil. She made a deal with fairies and now has to lead wild hunts for them during Samhain to capture lost souls or humans.
Number 3, humans crossing.
The breach goes both ways and humans cross over too, but they learn to avoid getting kidnapped by the fairies by disguising themselves as animals or monsters. You know, just like wearing costumes. I'm curious to see how the other world looks like.
Number 4, pukas.
Pukas are another creature that are very active during Samhain. They are tricksters and shapeshifters. As shifters, they can change into animals that are typical of Irish fauna. So we're talking foxes, hare, deers, and many others. Some stories say that pukas can also turn invisible, but I'm thinking more along the lines of undetected or hard to detect because they change into a common animal and they're right in front of you. You just don't see them in their natural form.
Pukas are also known to change into a human-animal hybrid, often described as, for example, a man with antlers or pointed fox nose or rabbit ears.
Already, you should be picking up on modern-day costumes such as bunny ears. Pukas seem like they could be a lot of fun. And of course, there's the trickster personality of the pukas. In this case, they tend to be mischievous to the locals, such as stealing food, hiding their belongings, leading people astray, and other acts resulting in harm or great inconvenience.
Number 5, Dullahan.
Dullahans are headless riders who are said to be harbingers of death to those who see them, meaning that if you see a Dullahan, you're going to die in the near future. There are many tales of the Dullahan. In some versions, they ride ghostly or skeletal horses. The horses' hooves are said to make no sound as they clatter along the ground, making it impossible to hear the Dullahan coming. Still, in some version, the Dullahan is said to carry a whip made of human spine. He uses this whip to lash at people crossing his path. The whip is said to be poisonous, and anyone who is struck by it is said to die instantly. FYI, I made a video about the Headless Horseman legend in Virginia. The Dullahan is where that horseman myth came from.
Number 6. Banshees.
In some stories, the banshee is a type of female fairy who wails the impending death of a family member. Just like fairies, banshees are said to be very active during Samhain. Banshees are often seen near the home of the person who is about to die. The banshee is typically described as a tall, pale woman with long, flowing hair. She is often seen wearing a white cloak. Her face is often distorted with grief, and her eyes are said to be red and watery. A banshee's wail is said to be so mournful that it can be heard from miles around.
Number 7. Kelpies.
If you are near water during Samhain, you have to look out for kelpies. These water spirits are said to take the form of beautiful horses near a lake, river, or loch, and when an unwary stranger tries to mount them, they'll drag that stranger to his watery death.
Number 8. Will-o'-the-wisps.
Will-o'-wisps are often described as small flickering lights that dance or move erratically over marshes. Turns out that they are mischievous spirits said to lead travelers astray. They are often seen at Samhain when the nights are dark and foggy. Thank you for watching. Images can be seen on my website, surrealhaunts.com. The link is below. Leave me ideas in the comments section for future videos. I'd appreciate any ideas on strange occurrences, cryptids, and supernatural. I'll see you next time.